MS has changed how I am, but I won't let MS change who I am. Hi, welcome to the Chronicles of Nani. I'm Nani, and this is essentially the Chronicles of me. This week I thought it would be a good time to talk about MS symptoms because I recently had a flare up. Let me explain a little bit about that. First off, I have primary progressive MS, so the thought of a flare up is kind of not normal. Simply because a flare up is when a symptom gets worse and then it slowly goes away. Or sometimes it doesn't. It can be something, in my case, it was a day, a little bit more than a day. In sometimes it can be a few days, it can be a few weeks, a few months, and then things go back to normal. Now that's true if you have relapsing remitting MS, which I don't. I have primary progressive MS, which means that when I started having symptoms, they just never went away. And they progressively got worse. That is not the most common MS. The most common MS is relapsing remitting, or RRMS. That's the one where you have symptoms that come and go. My neurologist and I, in talking about it after my diagnosis, realized that my first symptom was in 1996. Remember, I was diagnosed in 2011, but the first symptom was definitely in 96. I had been in a car accident on Saturday on my way into work, and it was a hard enough hit on the side that it bruised where the seatbelt goes, and it jostled me around enough in the seat that it compressed my spine, and it gave me a pretty nasty backache. I didn't see a doctor. I didn't have an ambulance come and look at me because I was about a half a mile away from work, and I'm the one opening the department for the Saturday. The only other people expected in are interns, so I was the only one that had a key. By Monday, I had realized that, my back was hurting pretty bad and I was limping. I'm sitting at my desk at work and I was doing some paperwork. And while I'm doing paperwork, I had my neck bent over like this. And when I bent my neck down, I had an almost feeling of an electric shock that started at the top of my neck and seemed to go this way all the way down to my to the bottom of my back. And I was thinking, wow, that my back got messed up worse than I thought when I get hit. That's what I was thinking, because that's the only thing that had happened, and it was pretty major catastrophe that happened that would explain it. But that was definitely my first symptom. I'm a recovering workaholic. In fact, I've been told by aides that I have now that doing this vlog and doing the editing and getting it ready and committing to doing it once a week, I'm still a workaholic. Um, that makes me happy because I was really happy as a workaholic. Um, but there were nights where I would be in the room editing, and I'm editing till like 2 o'clock in the morning, and I finally I'm in the zone, so I'm not thinking about the time, and I realize my coffee cup is empty, so I need more coffee. And the coffee that we had at the office was not good coffee. Um, so it was, look up at the clock. Oh, wow, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. And I'd been there since noon. Uh, and it was still actually a choice to me if I can run up to Dunkin' Donuts and get a coffee and come back and edit some more, or I can go to Dunkin' Donuts and get a coffee because it's a half hour between the office and home, and I need the coffee to make sure I stay awake when I'm driving. And workaholic definition, that was actually a choice. That after I had been at the office for 14 hours, um, it was actually a choice. Do I want to come back to the office and work some more, or go home? Um, Usually, I was smart enough to say, yeah, go home. I can finish this tomorrow. Um, but so at that time, when it was 2 o'clock in the morning and I stopped, that's when I realized my hands felt tingly, my wrists were kind of sore. Um, Now, that could be from just working too much and I needed a break. Or it could be that it was another early MS symptom because my hands felt a little better than they feel all the time now. Um, at another job a few years later, uh, it was a desk job. I worked in a video library, and I had actually grabbed a cup of coffee. Coffee is not always the make things bad for me thing. Usually, coffee is a thing of joy. But I picked up my cup of coffee, and it was a to-go cup that I had coffee that I brought into work because my shift didn't start till noon. Um, and I picked up my coffee, and it just completely slipped out of my hand because I didn't realize that I wasn't holding it the right way for it not to slip out of my hand. It slipped out of my hand and all over the keyboard of my computer. Uh, Fortunately, that's the kind of thing Works got covered. They also sent me in for to check and see if I had carpal tunnel, uh, because carpal tunnel would definitely be, my wrist giving out or dropping the coffee, and they checked my hands and they did the full testing with all the needles and everything else for carpal tunnel syndrome, and they found out that I did not have carpal tunnel. And at that time, I was diagnosed with pre-carpal tunnel, and they gave me braces for my hands when I was typing, and good to go out the door. Turns out that pre-carpal tunnel was early MS symptom. One of the other wonderful things with MS and MS symptoms is it usually attacks your dominant side first, which means the truth is my right hand is not as strong as my left hand. So I can pick up a glass full of water or a can full of soda with my left hand, where if I pick it up with my right hand, it trembles all over the place. And that's loads of fun when I fill up my water glasses with water and I'm moving them to the left table. And I grab them off the table that's on my right side, and I've got water going all over the place, and then I grab it and I can gently set it down. Um, it's one of the weird symptoms, but it's definitely an MS symptom. Um, but brain fog, which I had last week, is thankfully a symptom that was there for Monday, a little bit Tuesday morning, and then it was gone, and I was fine. It did put me behind on editing last week's vlog. Uh, Hopefully, you don't look at the vlog and tell that I was behind and rushing to get everything done. But that definitely was the case. Um, but I still got everything done. I'm a happy workaholic again now that I've found something to be a workaholic about. One of the other symptoms after the hand symptoms, I was a very avid walker, um, and I was having problems with my knee, problems with my foot, and it eventually got worse. I had X-rays done. They were telling me that they thought I had arthritis in my knee, and that's where the problem was. And I was wearing a brace when I walked because I still wouldn't stop walking. So with progressive forms of MS, the symptoms don't go away. Starting with my knees when I would go and walk, because I walked everywhere, and eventually the dragging foot that was making me fall all the time. And the progressive part of MS is things get more and more difficult. So my legs eventually did get to the point where I couldn't stand or walk even with assistance of any type. I couldn't push a chair around in the kitchen and cook. So at that point, I had to accept the fact that a wheelchair is going to be part of my life forever. The different things you have for assistance also help you retain or regain an optimistic feel about it. To be able to say, okay, I can do this. There will be a future episode where you're going to see some really fun stuff that I can do with the wheelchair. It's going to be a little while from now, because right now my doctor still has me under quarantine from the coronavirus because MS is an autoimmune disease, and she doesn't want me going out because she wants to keep me protected, and I greatly appreciate that. So as soon as I can get out to the mall again, though, my power wheelchair really doesn't stop me. It keeps me going. Because if I'm in the mall at the right time of day, when I go early to mid morning, when there aren't so many people there because people are at work. During the school year, good thing because kids are at school. I can get from the Apple Store to the Godiva boutique like I'm in a sports car. And when I have an open space with a nice smooth floor, I can have loads of fun like I'm in a tilt-a-whirl. And I'm so looking forward to this coronavirus thing just being gone so that we can get back to relatively normal lives, and I can get out to the mall and have some fun again. So those are MS symptoms that challenge me. I think that because I'm used to the fact now that I don't walk, brain fog has got to be the worst of them. As a recovering workaholic, I'm a bit of a control freak. And if I don't have control over my own brain, then I really feel helpless. And I don't want to feel helpless. MS symptoms are something that I have to deal with. But MS has changed how I am, but I won't let MS change who I am. So I'm gonna find the fun wherever I can find it. And I'm discovering that this vlog is one of the places I do find the fun. If you are watching this and you have MS, or you care for somebody, or have a relative, someone you love that's got MS and dealing with different symptoms, um, leave things in the comments. You can say that somebody is suffering from a symptom that frustrates them to the point of where they can't be happy about it and they can't find a way to cope with it. And somebody else can say, "Oh, I have this same type of symptom, and this is how I cope with it." And let's go ahead and make the Chronicles of Nani a community where we can join together and help each other uh, deal with the illness that we did nothing to get and we couldn't have avoided it. But it's not going to shorten our lives. Let's make them the best lives that we possibly can. And let's help each other out and do that together. That's going to be the end of this week. And there will definitely be something new and interesting and hopefully fun that we'll talk about for next week. And until then, I'll see you on Friday and have a great week. Wait, stop! Editor's note. There are symptoms I haven't talked about. Look for those next week. Okay, go on with the credits.